Hey guys, for this week's discussion, I decided to watch that creepy mini documentary about Peter Tripp. My gosh, my gosh, what else is there to say? I feel so bad for his wife. I feel bad for him, you know? Jeez, if you guys haven't watched that, it's still really fascinating to watch. You should definitely try it out. I think that what I learned from that documentary is it really stresses the importance of regular sleep. But Homeboy was staying up for 200 hours, and there's no specified guidelines of how much we should sleep specifically. I mean, yes, there is an average get your 8 hours of sleep, but our bodies vary to what we need. But that's just side research that I got. But in relation to a study that has been done in the past 10 years, I found this study that was published in 2017 by the Neurobiology of Sleep and Circadian Rhythms Journal. A team of researchers organized this experiment and got 29 males and females who were all very healthy adults, and they had them all identify a series of 120 facial expressions. So you can imagine there was a lot of variety in those facial expressions. They had them identify these 125 facial expressions after a well-rested night, like they were able to sleep through the whole night and identify it the next day with pretty accurate results of that. But they had them identify the same facial expressions again after staying up for 24 hours straight. So a completely sleep-deprived night. And the results of what happened, in relation to what they had to do, which was identify the facial expressions, very different. Findings suggest that sleep deprivation significantly reduced the accuracy in their ability to recognize facial expressions that had sadness and happiness kind of expressions in them. So, or morphed ones too, like dysmorphous expressions, and I guess that kind of makes sense because expressions can mean a lot of things, and when you don't get sleep, you don't want to think too hard about what people are thinking based on their facial expressions. However, these people were going out of their way and trying to determine the accurate facial expression, so it's pretty concerning that they weren't able to pick up on traces of happiness or sadness. Also, with this study, like I said before, with it having 29 males and 25 females, there were absolutely no gender differences. So that teaches me that this isn't sleep deprivation doesn't affect one gender more than the other. It equally affects everybody, and it's just a human issue. You cannot go without sleep. You guys saw what happened to Peter Tripp. Well, I hope you did. Homeboy he got I don't know, but I think he got a form of psychosis. That's just me. But anyway, with so yeah, they were very inaccurate in identifying the facial expressions the second time compared to their first. Obviously, it was they said that it was very, very significant, and the data that they provided is very it really stands by that. I just kind of want to quote them on this of what these findings suggest, because it really relates to what I want to talk about, and how I want to apply this information into my life and how it relates to the documentary. So Sleep deprivation adversely affects the recognition of subtle facial cues of happiness and sadness, the two emotions the most relevant to highly evolved prosocial interpersonal interactions involving affiliation and empathy. While relatively robust, more primitive facial expressions kind of went against sleep loss. So, like, they can still get like a basic idea of like less deep emotions that have to do with happiness and sadness, whatever that means. I hope that makes sense. But what really concerns me personally in that statement I had is the involvement of affiliation and empathy. So, relating this back to the documentary, you know how like Peter Tripp on like day 5 or something, or was it day 3? Yeah, it was like day 3 or something. He made his close friend who was his barber cry because he was cursing him out, and like he was not recognizing people, and he was just a lot harder to be around, and he just wasn't the same. And I think that has a lot to do with sleep deprivation, and what this is saying right here, like affiliation and empathy. Like, it low-key makes you into like a psychopath, but like on a very like mild scale. I don't know, because like Peter Tripp's behavior after this experience, pun intended, is trippy. Okay, it's trippy. But yeah, I think that like sleep deprivation is a very serious, well, like it can be a very serious problem. 24 hours without sleep isn't that big of a deal. I've stayed up for 24 hours at one time, and like that's okay, because in this article that I shared, the people were able to accurately define all the facial expressions after they got their sleep, their goodness, what is it called? Sleep recovery sleep, you know. So yeah, my gosh. But like 8 days, that like fried his brain, and that's not even the record holder. He's still not the record holder to this day of who stayed up longer, and I can only imagine what they had to go through, because that's insane. That is insane. Hallucinating? That's creepy. But anyway, my question to you guys today is, why did Peter Tripp's personality change so much? I know that the mind is a big mystery, and a lot of us don't know how to put certain things into words, but like, what does sleep have to do with our personality? Why? You know, I understand that like it's really related to emotion, but our character, our actual like individuality, that's creepy. I'm just saying. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you have a lovely day. Bye.